really proud of the way that the guys just put in the shit.
Hey, what's it like in Brazil right now? Is it warm? Yeah. It's always hot, huh? Yeah.
You really suck. This sucks more than anything that I've ever sucked before.
You getting that ass, Larry? Know what I mean? You getting that ass, Larry. That's what the fuck you do.
We are enjoying a lot about this time here.
Why are you holding up a card to indicate a penalty? Like, there's so many different things you can do, and you decide to hold up a card? That's insane to me.
Oh no, I'm stuck. Step bro, come help me.
Where is the vagina? It's a trick question because you can't see it here. You need to part the labia first.
I mean, do you really ever part the labia? I mean, you might if that's your job, right? You got to look inside there. But I never really, I don't know, maybe there was a time, but got down there and went, can I part your labia, please? Can I part? I'm going to part your labia. Because I got to see the vagina. You know what I mean? I'm new to this.
Yeah.
I just got here.
Oh, that's what it looks like. God.
Speaking of this small talk from Aronson to Johnny Soccer is just hilarious. So is it always hot in Brazil? Yes, dude. It's always hot. Yes, that's like small talk. That's like, how's the weather? How's the weather there in Brazil? Well, I don't play in Brazil anymore. I play in Spain. Okay, but it's hot.
He's been a couple years in Brazil though.
I mean, small talk skills are important, I suppose. Yeah. He spent a long time there. Also, my other question to you.
So, you speak Portuguese, huh? That's cool.
So, Cardoso, is that your real last name? Because don't Brazilians have nicknames? That would be a good question. What's your nickname? Because
my nickname is Johnny Soccer.
They go by one name usually, right?
Soccer, I guess.
His last name's Soccer. It's just his name, Soccer.
Yeah, my name's Soccer. Soccer.
I think it'll just be Cardoso, I guess. But he could have come up with something fancier.
I heard Johnny watched that video that we watched last week of the English people claiming that U.S. suck and who was on the U.S. team, and here the British ladies go and they call it soccer. So he doesn't like his nickname. He doesn't like his nickname anymore.
Oh, I'm sure he doesn't. I'm sure he doesn't really call it soccer either, because they, whatever. But the point being that those dumb bitches don't know that the English made soccer up, not us.
Yeah.
They just don't know it. That's from them. They made that up. And by the way, South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, and a bunch of other countries call it soccer too. Jamaicans call it soccer. All right. Derek has been parting my grandma's labia for years. Okay, well, unless your grandma is my ex-wife, probably not. Because that's probably the longest extended period of time I did part any labias, but not with anyhow. All right.
You put a vice in there and crank the back.
A vice, yeah. Riding that bitch up. No. All right. No, God, I had a horrible joke there. I'm glad I didn't say. All right. She did have 2 kids. Anyhow, Peyronie's disease. Wanted to ask you about that. So you know what that is, right?
We've talked about it a number of times, and I forget about it every single time.
Yeah, the bent dick.
The curve? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
A question mark, right?
Yeah. So I just wonder, do you have to prove that you have it before you get those pills? Because that means your doctor would have to get you erect, because it doesn't show up until you're hard. Your dick's not bent when it's soft or in turtle form, right out of the cold water.
I'm sure he doesn't get his jollies off to it, so it's okay.
I mean,
we need to fix dude, insertion here is a little difficult with this. So,
well, yeah, I mean, but my question is, does your doctor need to confirm before giving you that commercial that they've been playing nonstop on TV?
So are you asking if you have to show it, or if it's sort of like getting weed when you're claiming to the doctor that you're depressed? He just writes a prescription for it.
You think that's
all? Hey, doc, I've got a curved dick, man.
And the doctor's like, "Yeah, I believe you. Here you go."
I mean, why else would you want these fucking pills, right?
Yeah, I guess you wouldn't want to take pills for no reason, right? Dick straightening.
Well, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Super straight.
Speaking of dick straightening pills, there are the 69 of you already here, 5 minutes in. We want to thank you for joining us. So earlier, a lot of people missed the best part of the show, which is the beginning. I think it's when I have the most fun. But
Wow.
anyhow,
That says a lot about the next 2 hours of our life, Derek.
I know that's when it
Man,
gets
the best part of the show is the first 40 seconds.
the intro. We will be getting into the Reyna business and all the wankers
How
out
could
there.
we not? How could we not, though? It's a hot
And
topic
listen,
this week.
we're allowed to have disagreement. Not all of you will rankers if you disagree with us, but we're going to firmly lay out what we've been laying out for a while here and why it makes sense. I do want to say tonight I am drinking Three Philosophers. It's one of the best domestic quads made, Belgian quads made in the United States. It's 9.7% alcohol. It's a blend of the quad ale that they do and Creek ale with cherries. That the cherries are very subtle. 9.7 is a wallop. It's good. And then I guess it's made in Cooperstown, New York. Yeah, Cooperstown, where the Baseball Hall of Fame is. These guys have been doing, if you want to know what the bottle looks like, that's what it looks like.
I appreciate the information about the Baseball Hall of Fame in case it ever pops up on a trivia game, Derek.
Yeah, because
never would have known that.
Yeah, I haven't watched baseball for years. I think I watched a little bit of the World Series, but that was it. And then I can already tell you this beer is beyond distinctly potable. It is one of the best beers in.
Well, it's definitely potent because 9 point. You said 9.7, right?
No, I meant potable, drinkable, tasty.
Yeah,
potable.
But I thought you also specified it was a potable.
Well, I didn't say that, but you're correct. It is a potent potable.
Yeah, you're near. Yeah, at the 9%, you're nearing wine territory.
I mean, it is so good. This is such a great beer, and I'm glad I'm drinking it tonight. I saved it. This was supposed to be for the beer rating little thing that I did for Thanksgiving. Usually my brother's here. He didn't come, so I had all these leftover beers. So I'm drinking it tonight, and I'm going to enjoy myself. All right, for the 86 of you here, make sure you like, subscribe, share it with your grandma. I did see what Jermaine Jones tweeted. I don't know if we're going to – you have that one?
No, I don't have that. I was quickly looking for it.
Basically, he was saying, man, maybe I should start my own podcast.
Okay, hold on.
I'll tell you the real truth.
Hold on.
You can't handle the truth.
I do have that.
Or
I
maybe
didn't realize that's what he tweeted. Somebody commented on our.
Maybe I should say it in a German accent. You can't handle the truth.
So now, and Jermaine Jones with a potential new podcast.
Yeah, that's not happening.
But, I mean, there's a part of me that feels these former players are seeing randos on the internet become relevant and figure, I can do that.
I think
JJ bears it all and doesn't act as a USSF puppet.
No, I get that, but I think he's talking about Landon Donovan and.
I know.
And
about Klinsman and all.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think JJ would like to tell the truth about that as he saw it, and I think that what he saw was probably like a potential overthrow right before the Costa Rica game, and maybe he has some thoughts on that. And obviously, he and Klinsman are really close. Had a close connection. I mean, Jermaine Jones, the only one that was allowed to yell at Klinsman on the sidelines in anger. So, maybe he feels there's some trust there, and maybe he feels like Klinsman's getting unfairly shit on. On the other hand, I would say that when Jermaine Jones started taking and getting his licenses from U.S. Soccer to be a coach, and with the hope of being maybe at some point a coach of a U.S. men's national team or, assistant coach or whatever, boy, did he really clam up. I mean, he is not as outspoken as he used to be. Maybe he just wants to be outspoken about Tim Howard and Landon Donovan. But maybe that's all he needs is one show and then he's done, because I think he could get it all out in one show. Really,
Maybe he needs to go on the Just Kicking It. Maybe he needs to go on Just Kicking It.
They haven't invited him. I'm surprised.
I don't know. I'm just saying, reach out to Dempsey. I mean,
I think Dempsey liked playing for Clemson too. So I mean, when the coach loves you, but then you think Howard was like always the first pick for Klinsmann. So what's his beef? Or does he not have a beef, but he's just telling the truth? Because he seems to really agree with Landon Donovan on all of that. And he shouldn't necessarily, he doesn't have a reason to have beef with Klinsmann. Like, he never got cut from the team. So, by Klinsmann. So, I just, anyhow, it'd be really great to have them all. Like, I would love to do an interview where, I was in the middle of the room with like 5 different guys with different perspectives. Obviously, like Jeff Cameron liked Klinsmann, Jermaine Jones, Dempsey, although Dempsey would play it right down the middle, I think, Landon Donovan and Howard, and just say, hey, have them argue it out. Like, what really went on there? Why are there so many different opinions about this one dude? It's kind of crazy. All right. Anyhow, do you have any fluff for us?
Just like I'm sure that there are some people who liked Bob or Greg Berhalter, and then there are some people who didn't like Greg Berhalter.
Yeah, true enough. 113 of you here. Make sure you like, subscribe, and we haven't mentioned Stepsisters yet, so that's our problem and our fault. Although the intro does have the, of course, inevitable stepsister in the, the dryer, I believe. Mm-hmm. She gets stuck in the dryer. No one gets stuck in the dryer.
Oh, but there's so many videos out there. Of course I know. Right?
I know. Nobody gets stuck in the dryer. You got to have a more cramped dryer than she had to get stuck.
Maybe they live in Europe. You don't know that, Derek. Those dryers in Europe are tiny.
But clearly, the girl in the intro had a big hole dryer. Like she could easily squeeze in that.
I'll say one thing though. When we went to go visit Chad and his wife in Greece, though they were just dating at the time. We visited them in Greece when they're studying abroad. Their bathroom had a washer in it, but no dryer. So they had to go out on the balcony and put this multi clothesline thing set up, and have the clothes drying out there, which can work fine, except for when the person above you starts watering their plants.
Yeah, that'll ruin it. By the way, Colin Reese is saying, Derek, will you acknowledge that LD didn't say Gio should come to MLS? So are we saying that LD did not suggest that he come to MLS?
The clip at hand, now you can read into his my interpretation of it, and you can read into it however you want. My interpretation was because he started this whole conversation off with players starting their careers in Europe.
Yes.
And he mentioned how, like, if Gio had started his career in MLS, he would have 300 plus games now, and then he can try Europe.
No guarantee of that at all, though.
Exactly, yes. But he never, I never really interpreted anything that he said as far as saying that Gio should come back to him or come to MLS. That's my interpretation of it. But I know I'm a minority amongst everybody, even the other pundits that we'll listen to today.
And it doesn't really matter because he already made put out the absurd idea that Pulisic should come to MLS. So there's no point in arguing about it.
Lala specifically stated it.
But then Max Bretos told me that's not what Lala said.
Oh, okay. Well, let's not get too far. That's Geo topics later on. I don't get into it too early here.
Oh, Jesus. I don't know what to believe anymore. What am I taking crazy pills?
Wait, hold on, real quick. I do want to rewind that because I just processed it. You're saying that Max told you Lawless did not say that?
Yes.
He has an article saying that.
I know.
It was written down not on paper, but on the internet.
And I wrote Max back and said, "What do you mean? There's an article." And then I didn't hear from him again.
It was talking about how Gio should take a loan to LA Galaxy. I mean,
yeah,
you can't get any more clear than that.
I think maybe I accidentally wrote down Landon Donovan.
Maybe
that would have been an accident if I did, because I meant Lawless. If I put LD down, I am sorry, I fucked up. You
mentioned that Landon intimated it. I think that's what you said.
I think I may be fucked up, dude. And I have replaced Landon and made Lawless the same person. I don't know. I must have fucked up.
Well, we'll come to that later.
I meant Lawless. I don't. If I wrote LD, I'm a dumbass. All right.
I wanted to address that. Drinking in moderation's good. Drinking in moderation while tweeting sometimes isn't so good.
I do it all the time. I've never had a problem.
No,
except for that last tweet, apparently.
My problem was a lack of, or a running it through. So I just wanted to talk about, hey guys, there's apparently 2 friendlies coming up here in Camp Cupcake, one against Venezuela and one against Costa Rica. Personally, despite the fact of what we're going to read here in just a second, I think these are actually good competitions for Camp Cupcake because of who we're going to be bringing into the camp.
Right. And
then I followed it up also by saying that I feel like the attendances are going to be low. Well, actually, let's see what I did say. I said Costa Rica and Venezuela are bad options. I meant to say aren't bad
options
for Camp Cupcake. Attendance will certainly be low. And you know what? I've been made aware ad nauseum across the entire comment section that there are in fact good Costa Rican and Venezuelan populations in the Miami and Florida area.
Yes, there are.
So maybe the attendance won't be low. Maybe I'll probably be proven wrong in that front, and I'll accept it. Open arms.
Still think it's Camp Cupcake games. I really don't see them being packed, honestly.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, there are a lot of Venezuelans. I think that if they care about a Camp Cupcake game, they'll go watch it. But it's a Camp Cupcake game. I really don't see any of those games being packed by either U.S. fans or fans of the other team because they're meaningless.
I mean, going back through some of the games, I mean, you're looking at about an average of like 9,000. Mind you, you're looking also at teams like Bosnia and stuff like that. Are they really hosting those games in major Bosnian metropolises? Maybe they'll come. Maybe the Costa Ricans and the Venezuelans will come out in droves, or maybe we'll just have another 8,000-9,000 attended game.
I don't know. I just don't. If I'm a Costa Rica fan and I'm like, oh, we're going to go play some MLS guys in like a chock full of maybe 1 or 2 European guys, like, I don't know, Noah Kai Banks or whatever. Is that really something I'm excited about? I don't know. I'm not excited about Camp Cupcake at all.
So I was going to say, wouldn't it be interesting to say do Camp Cupcake in a place that normally doesn't get USMNT's national team games or something like that? Like you can look at like. I was gonna mention Connecticut as an example because I know the women go up to Connecticut a lot.
How about college campuses?
I was jokingly going to say that when you were talking about like we should college campuses. We should in that case. But here,
hey, my criticism has not reached
$5 tickets to Camp Cupcake, and you get 5 beers. 5 beers. Come to our game.
My criticism has not reached Pete and Tack so far for busting their balls on that. But anyhow, I'm waiting for the text message on the phone here. Oh, okay. But anyhow, sorry, go ahead, bro.
Colin specified, he goes, he went to the U.S.-Bosnia game in L.A., and the Bosnians drove there from St. Louis. So, maybe they'll travel.
Well,
I feel like Costa Rica fans may not necessarily travel as much because they'll see Costa Rica there like 3 times before the World Cup guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
Venezuelan fans might do it. How often does Venezuela make the trip up? Not as often.
I mean, they need all the support they can get right now after starting so hot and then having some issues later in qualifying. But I don't know who they're going to bring either, right? Like, who are they going to bring? Is that going to be their C team? Like, if that's C team versus C team, who fucking cares? By the way, Pete has a good preliminary roster video. I haven't watched it, but Pete does his homework, so I would agree that that's probably very good. Although,
or for US?
For the US, he had.
Didn't you just talk about a second ago about how Pete has like a bunch of European players in the mix?
Yeah, I watched about 5 minutes of it, and then I'm like, no, I don't think so, because I don't think a lot of European guys are going to come. I really don't.
As we talked about before the show started, I'm like, there've been a couple of European guys from time to time over the past couple decades,
like to a roster, and I think Pete has definitely more than 2.
I remember when Josh Scott came.
Yep,
there was that time. Obviously,
Mixed Discarud used to come. Yeah. Yep, but yeah, generally the guys playing. If you're playing even for the 2 team for Frankfurt, for instance, let's just use that as an example. If we had a player, they're not coming. They're not coming.
I brought this comment by Fumar about Banks and Campbell because I had mentioned
Campbell's not coming.
Before Campbell started getting minutes and making the bench at Dortmund, I was actually thinking maybe Kilgood and Camp Cupcake, because why would Dortmund care if he's playing with the 2 Dortmund team, or he goes in for a week in international camp?
Yeah, they want to keep him healthy because he's a bench option for them. He was in the Champions League here. So they still have, out of nowhere, they could have another fucking fit of injuries. They need Campbell. They don't want him to go play for camp. Yeah, they need him healthy. Give him a break,
What about Coachin, who's like third option for Barcelona right now?
I mean, I wouldn't argue against it, but I don't know if that's going to happen. I mean, we will see, but Cole Campbell, I think, is off. I don't think that's happening. Who was the other one?
Banks.
Noah Kai Banks just started making the first team. I don't think so. I don't think they're going to let him go.
What about Pedro Soma?
I just don't think he's going to get called up. I mean, unless this is a really forward-thinking young camp where we're going to scoop up just some really young guys and give them some experience.
What about Mathis Albert?
I'd love to see that.
So
but I don't think it's happening.
Did you see the there's a German video, sort of like a I don't know, post game type of not even a presser, but it's 2 people talking about Mathis Albert.
Mathis Albert, yeah.
How important Dortmund are looking at him and saying how he's going up. So there's a guy and a girl talking about Dortmund's youth, and apparently the girl didn't get the memo of how to pronounce his name. I mean, she is me in this situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
She looks at it and goes, "That's and they're German," and she goes, Matthias Albert.
Mathis Albert.
And Albert.
Yeah.
And the guy, after she talks and everything, the guy corrects her and goes, "It's actually." I'm paraphrasing what he says because I don't speak German and can't say it like he said. But basically, it's pronounced Mathis Albert.
Yes.
His mom's French and his dad's German. And
well, we were absolutely right about that.
Yeah.
And somehow he's also American. By the way, Alex, no, Nathaniel Brown. We'd be lucky to get him for a real U.S.
Nations League. Let's go Nations League.
Big boy camp. Who, by the way, Nathaniel Brown has not been contacted as of last notice by Poach or anyone from Poach's team, which is egregious error. That is a horrible thing. You at least call the guy and say, "Hey, we're keeping an eye on you. We like what you're doing." Nathaniel Brown ain't coming to Camp Cupcake. He's a starter for Frankfurt. The only reason he didn't start in the Champions League games is you have to register them when the season starts. And they didn't know he was that good when the season started. And now they know he's that good, and he's a regular starter during the Bundesliga for Frankfurt. So there's that. He's not coming. That's just not happening. It's not happening.
Here's what I suspect will happen more so than what I hope would happen. Because obviously I'm hoping it's U23. But I would imagine that Poach probably has a list of players that he wants to take a look at that might be viable options for Nations League as far as depth and everything like that is concerned. And he's probably going to call them in. But hopefully the rest of the roster is U23s at that point.
I wish you were right. I
wish I was too.
Yeah, I just don't see it happening.
I've been saying this for the last couple of World Cups. I'm like, hey, guys, not World Cup, sorry. Camp Cupcakes. I'm like, why? These senior players have just as much of an option of an ability to be called in to meaningful matches or meaningful friendlies later on with the big boys. Why not give Camp Cupcake to basically MLS Next Pro at that point?
Yeah, that would be even better because I don't think Fumar says Damian Downs. Nope. He's too important to Kern. They're not going to risk it. They need him. They're going to be fighting for promotion at Kern. No, he's not coming. So Pete's going to be wrong about that. If he said Carol Figueroa, I don't know if we're that forward thinking, and I don't know if Figueroa's performances leading up to this Camp Cupcake would even get him a nod into it. Like, he's not a starter for the Liverpool youth team. So that's something to consider. I hope they call him Sebastian Soto. Yes, former Klagenfurt star, shining star. No club right now, Sebastian Soto. I'm sure he'll be called in. But he'll be playing on a USL side soon, near you. Conrad. Conrad, who's back to not playing for Lausanne. Or 0-0 to Sally, whose modeling career is totally just
Could we form an entire squad of like the Sotos and the Otisauis and the Conrads of our players that were hyped and fizzled?
Dwayne Holmes
that are active. You can't go past and say, well, there's this guy, but they're like 42 years old now.
Dwayne Holmes, Julian Green.
Yeah.
Who else could we add to that? So yeah, you couldn't probably make a whole team. But I hate to say this, but Slonina's looking quickly like he might be part of that. I hope it's not true, but
first off, let me cover Colin here in a sec. He checked and verified that Lawless did in fact say that he should consider a loan.
Yes,
to LA Galaxy. I feel like Gaga's going to fall down the loan army well that say like Miazga fell down. I mean, I'm not saying that Miazga would have done better if he would have had gone to Genk like McKenzie did and then worked his way up at that point. Maybe that would have been the better option. And the same thing with Gaga at this point. At this point, I don't want any of our young players to immediately just sign with big teams unless they have a history like Dortmund does of working youth players through the system.
And we got a long history of that now.
Yeah, exactly. I'm fine with players signing up with Dortmund all day long. I'm worried about Cavan in this situation, signing with Man City and going through that same exact spell. He'll have an opportunity. And in fairness, Gaga had an opportunity at Barnsley to prove himself.
And he blew it.
Yeah, so it's not like he's just sitting the bench writing pine somewhere, even on a loan. He's getting an opportunity. It's up to him at that point to make it. And maybe he fails, but I don't know. It's one of those things now where I'm like, I don't want any of these high big signings at a young age anymore.
Miggy says 69 viewers. That would have been cool, Miggy, but unfortunately it is 137 viewers on both YouTube. But I mean, we'll take it. Yeah, on YouTube and X. So, but we did cross the 69 line about, I don't know.
4 minutes in.
5 minutes in. So sorry, buddy. But cheers to you anyhow. Giggity.
Hey. Okay.
All right.
On here. Let's move on to actual fluff. Move on to the actual fluff.
Oh, we got a fluff. Okay.
We have fluff. Are you familiar with the porn star Lily Phillips?
Is she hot?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I'm not.
I'm not like smoking by any means, but sure.
Does she do anal?
Well, I have no idea, Derek. She did, however, just do 100 guys in 24 hours.
That's pretty gross. But
so
okay.
She apparently she reflects on her sadness after sleeping with 100 guys in one day. But here she is. You can look at her now.
Okay, she's not like I don't know. She's all right.
But she's come out recently, aside from this, because this is the weird thing, because I saw the follow-up thing was like, she's going to go for the Guinness Book of World Records and do 1,000 guys.
Yeah,
and I don't know how many days it was. But yeah. Then all of a sudden this video comes out of her getting sad and basically claiming that, and after like the 9th or 10th guy, it just didn't feel like anything at that point. Like it didn't feel like this was meaningful by any means. And
no shit.
Really?
You
just got ran through. It's like 100 guys, dude. Come on.
It's a 100-man motorboat train. Come on. This is what did she expect? Are you gonna play that?
Oh no, I have no intention.
Okay.
I don't care.
Okay.
To play that.
Well, anyhow, yeah.
It's so dumb.
Yeah, I mean, that's just, I mean, you want to, and listen, she's a pretty girl. She's very young. So that's what she's going to be known for the rest of her life. And okay, well, if she can turn that into money, I guess. Like she can somehow transform that into making money on the regular, fine. But once you sleep with 100 dudes live on whatever that was, probably, I mean, part of the greatness of women, right, is the mystery.
Yeah.
It's the mystery. It's the buildup. And once the buildup is gone, it's not quite as hot as it used to be. So you want to be a mystery for as long as you can be, right? I don't know. But this is the opposite of mystery. And, now, I don't want to get into this too much, but yeah, that probably not a good idea to do 100 dudes in one sitting.
Definitely not 1,000 dudes. Come on.
Yeah.
Literally, she hasn't learned.
1,000. Dude, she couldn't walk the next day. Come on.
I'm just thinking about the line of dudes just sitting there like, they each got their poll tab. Like, hey, what number are you? Oh, you're 400. I'm 629.
Speaking of fluff, I'm sure they had fluffers. Because or you just say, next hard dude up, please. You don't really have a line. It's like, who's ready and roaring to go, right? And I'm sure if it's like 100 guys, a lot of those are just guys off the street. They got small little dicks, so she can get through those pretty fast. But, if it were 100 porn star dudes, she'd be in trouble. Real trouble.
Sure.
And I'm sure it was disgusting for her after 9 guys. It should have been disgusting after 6. Big, fat guys off the street with beer bellies and tiny penises. Yeah, it's probably not that exciting. All right, anyhow, let's move on.
Let's move on to fun with maps. We've done some maps before.
This one was all right.
Huh?
It was all right.
Yeah. We're gonna have some fun with maps.
All right.
I've got a map of proving that the Earth isn't flat.
Okay. I mean, you don't even need to put the extra lines in there. It looks like it already.
Yeah. With
some extra bumps and whatever.
Yeah. I mean, the Earth is definitely not flat. I mean, those are at least double D's, right?
Okay. The Earth isn't flat for sure, but I don't know if this proves it. It's fine.
I'm sorry. Are you looking at those? Clearly not flat.
That's not how they look in the ocean. That's all I'm saying. There aren't 2 giant mounds of water in the ocean. I'm just saying.
I mean, I'm looking at some double D's right now, Derek. That's not flat.
They're underwater. They're underwater. Sure. Okay.
That's nothing to do with the water.
It's too easy.
Well, I mean, it's too easy. Yeah. Anyway, I responded, and I'm sure you're probably not gonna get this because I'm assuming you probably never sat down and watched Moana, have you?
No. By the way, Bobby, not Brown, I am not a tits and ass guy. I do like a nice butt, but I am not a tits.
My comment basically is like, I see that we've never returned the heart to art, Fiti. That's the whole point of the show is that there's a goddess of life and everything like that, and she's this island, and there's a heart, and whenever why I can't think of the Rock's character's name. When he ended up stealing the heart, she ended up turning to some lava monster. Basically, he stole her heart, and she turned into some wild bitch.
Okay.
And she went on to destroying a bunch of islands until she got her heart back. Basically.
Okay.
So
this is
pretty dark.
It's all news. It's all news to me.
Not at all. Oh Lordy.
If you're saying, well, if you're not a boobs and ass guy, by the way, what are you? Well, I just like my girls to be fit and thin. At least I did back in the days. Now I don't give a fuck. Like,
you don't think anybody? Yeah.
No, I just don't care. Either way, not interested in relationships or anything like that. Not interested. I'm done. I did my part. I had a great run. I'm done. I'm done. I know a lot of guys can't understand that.
You did your part.
I did my part. I had a great run. Now it's just me, myself, and I am happy with it. I love being alone. I love it. That's what I am. I'm a fucking lone wolf, and I thrive in alone. All right. Anyhow.
All right. Branching off into real sports news, guys. This is sports news now. It's not necessarily new news in the sense of you heard that Michigan defeated Ohio State during Thanksgiving week.
Yeah,
right? And went on to the whole planting of the flag, and then there's a whole brawl, and people got pepper sprayed. Well, apparently a representative of Ohio.
Is he a Republican?
I have no idea.
We should look him up.
We go and talk about this, and so basically, Josh Williams has introduced the Ohio Sportsman Act, where planting a flag at Ohio State Stadium.
This is the dumbest
is
thing
a felony offense.
This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
It's
the dumbest
felony offense.
You're wasting our time. There are so many more important things to deal with than making this a fucking felony. What a ridiculous pile of crap.
He is a Republican, by the way.
Well, he should be fired immediately and replaced. I know you can't do that, but he's got 2 years. Get rid of this fucking moron.
It is.
What an idiot.
So I think I worded it best up here. My response is basically, you have an employee says, "Have you ever been convicted of a felony?" University of Michigan player goes, "Yeah." The employee goes, "Well, for our records, we need that information." Player goes, "Well, I planted a flag, a U of M flag on Ohio State's field."
Well, we're done here.
Well, we're done here.
Yeah.
This is the dumbest thing in the world. How is this possible? How can he possibly put that bill into place and want to be taken serious within the state rep?
Tom, it doesn't matter what party he is. I was just curious. If he were a Democrat, I'd say the same fucking thing. Get rid of his dumb ass. What a fucking moron. Let the game legislate itself. They'll figure out a way to punish the players for doing stupid things like this, like a 2-game ban or whatever they want to do. But nobody needs a felony charge. All right? This is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And by the way, there's a lot more important things to do right now. A lot of important shit that we got to get done. So, yeah.
This is going to be a straight red card. Well, second, I guess, because she partook in the animated skit of ours, but E's downstairs and she wants to say something real quick.
All right.
Hi. My husband, who is such a fantastic cook, made me set an alarm to get the turkey he was cooking out of the oven.
All right.
Did you turn the oven on or just the timer?
I turned the oven on.
Oh, well, you turned it off at some point. It is a raw
turkey.
All right. That's good.
What should I gonna do with it?
Shit. At this point, fuck. If I know.
Should I put it back in the fridge?
Yeah, probably. I guess we should. Can you carry that downstairs?
Good God.
Well, that's the first. That's the first, guys.
Well, it's a hectic life, Brett. You've got 2 kids. You're married. You got a job. Life is fucking busy.
I don't understand how I did that, though, because I cooked the steak earlier. I had it set at 350. I pulled the steak out, and then I put the turkey right in and set the timer. I never cancel anywhere.
Well, shit happens. Hey, at least your wife got featured on the show for the first time.
Now I'm sitting here thinking, that turkey's been sitting in the oven for 2.5 hours now.
But it's funny. The point that she wants to come on and make is you're an idiot.
Well, of course. What other point would you expect her to make?
That's what wives are for. By the way, I'm coming on your show, Brett, for the very first time to let you know
I heard
you're an idiot.
I heard the door open, and I go, "What kid's here?" So I mute myself, and then I see her pop around the corner. I'm like, "All right, 1 second, hold on, I got."
All right, Brett's gonna go deal with the turkey. Anyhow, that's kind of what happens, and this is why, frankly, folks, that I'm never getting married again, and I have no interest in getting married again. And as a teacher, I get asked this by my students: "Hey, Miss Rich, you out there playing the field?" No, I am not out there playing the field, and I have no interest in playing the field. I already played the field, and I played the field from the age of 16 and 15 all the way to the age of 47, and I'm done. Anyhow, that's how it goes sometimes. 47, 48, somewhere around there is when I kind of stopped. But anyhow, after my divorce, I did try to play the field for a little while. That didn't, again, you have a relationship with somebody and You think it's like we're friends with benefits, but never ends up that way. It's always got to get serious, and then they want to get married, and I'm just like, no, not doing that anymore. Anyhow, Brett's back.
I'm back.
I am not mentioning body count. That's a big thing the young kids talk about. What's your body count, man? Yeah, I mean,
that's because you're ashamed of it, Derek. You're ashamed of your body count. If you were ashamed of it, you would be like, I fucked 7,241 women.
No, I would never say that because that's mathematically very difficult to do. 7,000.
Well, you are 65 years old.
Yeah, but then I would have had to have orgies every night after shows, after rock band shows, right?
I don't want to say. Maybe you had a lot of threesomes throughout the years.
Just 2.
Well done.
Just 2 threesomes, yeah. So yeah, and that was one at 18 and one at 34. So it's not like I did it often, or 33. So yeah, it wasn't an often thing.
Doing the math there. Wait a second.
When I was 17, yeah, but that's complicated, Brett. We can get into that because you think, oh, Derek was married immediately to the woman who had his. That's not correct. I wasn't immediately married to Jennifer.
Oh, you're talking about the 33 or 34-year-old?
Yes, one? Correct.
Yeah, that's the math I was doing. Yes.
Yes, you're like, wait a minute, weren't you married? No, I wasn't.
Wait a second.
I wasn't married. So anyhow, that's a long story. I'm not getting into the details of all that because it's really twisted and complicated. And I'll talk about with that, Brett, offline.
Did you have any hundred sums?
Nope.
No.
Nope. But I've been to many a show after party that were very fun. So that's the thing about, if you always want to know you're going to get laid, just be in a band and be the lead singer. You will always get laid and it will be constant. You will never have an issue on tour meeting women. It's just how it works. So
I think at this point it's too late for me, so I'll bestow this knowledge upon the youth.
Your son.
Yeah.
No,
so let me tell you, if you want to get laid, become a singer of a band. Not a weird band, but a rock band of some form.
Some sort of rock band that's at the time, indie rock was popular. So it's not anymore, but it was.
If you want your pick of the litter, become a boy band singer.
I'm sure they get quite a bit. Yeah. I got that.
Of course, your time will be expired quickly because you'll no longer be cool after about 5 or 7 years.
That's true. But indie rock died off too, right? It was popular from like 96 to like 2008. So, it died off as well. That had like 12-year span, right? Where that was cool. All right, let's move on.
So we've talked about this before when it got announced that Greg Berhalter is the new coach of Chicago Fire.
Yes.
But is he?
Yes.
Well, we already talked about how Ferrer might be heading off to the Sounders. So you have Jordan Morris and Ferrer, but
he is.
Apparently, the Sounders aren't done yet because they're picking up Ariel as well.
Okay.
And here I thought Berhalter was coaching Chicago.
I think he knows better.
No, he's persuaded one of his peers to make the same mistakes he made as a national team coach. I guess I don't know.
I think Schmetzer knows exactly what he's doing, and I'm going to have to give him credit. He's a good coach. I think he knows what he's doing and how he's going to do it.
I think it's going to be a serviceable trio up top, to tell you the truth.
I think in MLS, that's a really good lineup for the most part. And it's in some ways what Seattle kind of lacked. And they had very small things.
They already have Roldan, yeah.
But Roldan isn't the speedster that I think that they need right now. And so I think, not that Ariola's super fast, but in a straight line, he's not too slow yet. Ferreira, they probably play him at a CAM role. I don't know. We'll see what Schmetzer does. I think Schmetzer, Brian has a plan.
When's Brian bringing in Leggett? Also needs to get Zimmerman. Long's already signed with the LAFC, so he's a long shot at that point.
But don't
Brian's just going. If I create Greg Berhalter's team at the club level, I'll be called in as the manager for after 2026, right? I think that's some mentality here.
Yeah. Miguel says, Derek, it's time to settle down. But, dude, I already did that a long time ago. I was married for 13 years. I have 2 kids. I don't want to do anymore. I'm done. I prefer waxing my dolphin. All right? I really do. People don't get it. I do. That's what I prefer. All right. Anyhow.
All right. Well, Derek, I don't know if it was last show or the show prior and stuff. I think it was last show because Balogun missed the match because he hurt his shoulder during training.
Yes.
And you go, boo-hoo, he'll be back. No problem. In 8 to 10 weeks, apparently he's getting surgery.
A really bad shoulder injury.
Yeah.
Really bad. Know. By the way,
I told you, I go, man, he just got done dislocating his shoulder. Now he's out again because he took a hit in his shoulder. And you're like, they'll just pop it back in. 8 to 10 weeks, he will pop it back in.
Yeah, that's what McKennie does, but it doesn't work for him. I do have a midweek report, by the way.
Right on. We have time. We'll get
Warning.
I guess once again, don't the injury report here. And we branch off into actual players who played in Champions League. We can start doing the midweek report there, and I can pull up the Yanks Abroad picture here in just a second.
All right.
I forgot that it does not show up there. That's good.
All right.
We'll pop that in. Hold on a second.
Carl Stripe said, thanks for that image. I mean, listen, waxing your dolphin is a pretty weird image. So, I mean,
yeah.
You know, I could have said stroking my cock, and I didn't say it. I said waxing my dolphin to give you, sort of a metaphoric example. All right.
You're up here to polish the pewter.
Yes. So anyhow.
Do you know where that's an obscure reference even for me, but I know where it came from. Do you know where it comes from?
Polish the pewter.
Polish the pewter.
I know what pewter is. It's a metal they used to make things out of, like little toy soldiers, but I don't know what is it now. It's
from the movie Almost Heroes with Chris Farley and Matthew Perry.
I did see that movie, but I don't remember.
Oh shit, you did see that movie? Holy fuck.
I don't remember shit about it, dude. Nothing.
It's they were competing against Lewis and Clark to go west.
Yes, I've seen. Okay. I remember scenes now. Yes, I do remember the polished computer scene. Yes,
the movie was fucking hysterical because he's looking through his telescope and he saw the Native American lady who was helping him out trying to get to the West Coast, and she was bathing at the time. So
yes, so he polished the pewter. Anyhow,
I've got Stanley to do that for me. I'm sure he does.
Yeah. So Bell will be back in like a long time. So we got to find others, but we won't have we won't have Sargent either for a while.
Does League take a winter break?
No.
Fuck it. Yeah,
but they take a bit break, but no, it's not like the Bundesliga break.
I mean, that's basically 2 months, 2.5 months at that point. So you're looking February, roughly.
Yeah,
maybe he comes back and gets fit for a March window, but who knows at that point?
Who knows? All right, let's move on.
Moving on to another injury.
Michael Carrick on Aiden Morris. Aiden's not training with us yet, but he's doing his rehab and is out on the grass and progressing particularly well. We'll just have to see how quick that's going to be. It should be in and around Christmas, maybe before. We'll see how that goes without putting any pressure on that. Hopefully that won't be too long. Yeah, they need him back. They really do.
Man, I saw that and I go, man, once we get past certain names on the Yanks Abroad, I must gloss over on some of the ones you mentioned because you go through the list. And I must miss Middlesbrough every fucking week because I did not realize he was injured. When did he get injured?
U.S. camp.
Was it during it or before it?
Maybe it had been right before it or just at the beginning of it.
Okay.
So, he probably may rue the fact that he picked the U.S., and I know a lot of people said that, but now I'm starting to think, well, we're very injury prone. Who knows? Aiden Morris might have a shot. at getting a call.
Tyler Adams is very injury prone. We're not injury prone in the midfield.
Well,
in fact, our back two in that 4-2-3-1, if we play that, are pretty secured health wise, except for Tyler
Adams. Moose has been playing a lot out wide lately.
Yep.
So, you've got McKennie, obviously.
If he gets injured, it's like 1 week.
McKennie, not Adams, because he's always injured. As we met, you got Cardoso, Tessman. I think that he could stay in the battle for a spot. Maybe.
Bucio's there.
Bucio's was okay for us, but
I'm just saying. There's. I don't think he should have played for Canada by any means. He probably should have, if he's looking long term here. But even then,
we'll see. He was really good at the beginning of the season with Middlesbrough. He was fabulous. So
he was pretty good on Poach's first window, but his second window was.
So you just have to keep an eye on him, and if Middlesbrough continue to fight for promotion and they get up there and he plays in the Premier League, then that's a couple years out. You might think, maybe a year out, season out. You think maybe he'll fight for a spot. I don't know. I'm not counting him out yet. I'm just not.
I don't know. Sarge played for an EPL side for one season. I imagine that's how long Burrow would stay in the EPL as well. And how many people are out there saying Sarge sucks and he doesn't deserve to be? He's like 4th or 5th on the roster. So
too many. And now he's injured, so he's not even on the docket
right now.
He's not even on the docket anymore. All right, on Tuesday, CCV and Trustee played right next to each other and looked, I think, extremely good. I got to watch that game in the Champions League. They look like they had a real connection. So that's something to keep in mind going forward, especially if Richards doesn't start playing again or isn't playing, and Bream's still in MLS. And, McKenzie finally had a bad game for Toulouse. He's been spectacular for Toulouse most of the season and pretty good for the USMNT national team. But something you keep in mind that CCV and Trustee are sort of creating some sort of chemistry together back there.
I need to see CCV at some capability at the USMNT national team level at this point.
He does things for Celtic he won't do for us. Like
in his defense,
he carries the ball forward.
Yeah,
for them.
Quite often. Defense, we've only ever seen him under Berhalter.
Yes,
so we don't know. McKenzie had a coming up party with Poach.
He certainly did. Yes,
it was okay under Berhalter, although there was a massive gap in between when he played or called up, even for that matter. So, who knows? Maybe CCV will come in and Poach's system will just work wonders for him.
Oh shit! The spear exploded.
Too much, Ed. Whoop.
Oh God! Did you catch any of that?
I heard.
Oh God! Yeah. Well, that Duval just blew up in my face. That's fantastic, folks. I got
what she said.
Half the beer here right in front of me on the floor. All righty. This is great. Okay.
Frank says Sarge doesn't suck, but he's 3rd or 4th on the roster. It's okay. Yeah, I'll say he's 3rd. I will take him over Vasquez any day of the week.
Fuck.
And that's not bashing Vasquez. Don't take that as a bash towards Vasquez. I just rate Sarge higher.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, that's fine. At
this point, I think Pepe's top dog, quite frankly.
Yeah.
However you feel about Balogun, he hasn't played much at all because of injuries for a while now. Sarge suffers from the same problems in that sense, but Pepe's been firing on all cylinders.
Yep, I really like the way Pepe's playing right now.
So he's got to be top dog.
Speaking of which, on Tuesday, Ledesma, Pepe, and Gooch all play. Well, no, excuse me. With Tillman, Ledesma, and Pepe all played. Tillman 83 minutes and played really well, except for one bad defensive mistake that led to a goal for Brest. I don't know what you think about, but I really thought that they should have won that game, and they just couldn't score on Brest. It seemed like
they couldn't finish all over them. They couldn't finish it all over Brest.
Brest was really on their game, and
A lot of support for Brest. That's what you're saying.
People love Brest. Yes.
Always make sure the one league game I always make sure to catch is when Nice plays Brest. I'm just saying.
Nice Brest. All right, so that was that game, and Ledesma went 45, and he played really well too, but they couldn't score, man. If you can't score on Brest,
maybe they are a butt person.
Maybe so. Maybe they need to get turned on by something else. They need to play a team called ass. All right, Gooch, 1 minute for Stoke into his comeback game from injury. 1 minute, then a loss for Stoke. Brendan Aronson, another really good game for. I like the Leeds fans love him all of a sudden. He scored.
We'll talk about another player that Leeds fans do not like here in just a minute. But continue.
He scored against Middlesbrough, who of course didn't have Aiden Morris, and they are on their way to promotion if this keeps up. Carol Figueroa went 14 minutes in a tie for the Liverpool junior team. DeToni went 90 minutes for Bayern's U19 team in a win. Din Klapija went 66 minutes for RB Leipzig's U19 team in a loss. Alex Porto went the full 90 for Fulham's U21s in a win. And then Duran DeCorte. This is for some people, this is going to be a new guy they've never heard of. Duran DeCorte, 67 minutes for Anderlecht's U21 team. He got an assist in the loss for the Anderlecht U22 team. This is all Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, Reyna played 73 minutes. Cole Campbell was in the 18 in that loss.
Okay, hold on. We're going to talk about Gio, I guess. So I wasn't expecting Gio to come up that quickly. I wasn't ready for it.
Can I just say?
You can.
Pascal Gross, who cost them the goal.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. His replacement, yes.
What a fucking idiot. What a fucking moron, Pascal Gross.
Didn't he also get the goal or the assist that led to 2-2?
I just have to say, I've never seen a player do something that dumb in my life. There is no one around you, and instead of taking the ball down to your feet, you chip pass it out of the air to no one, and then the other team goes and scores the winning goal on a counter. Barca wins the game on his bullshit, mindless, fucking bullshit pass. Dude, no one was around you. Trap the ball to your feet, Pascal Gross. What the fuck are you doing? I was so upset, dude. I was pissed off. Pissed off. I'm not even a Dortmund fan, but if I were his teammates, I'd be like, what the fuck were you thinking? Chipping it backwards to no one. Who the fuck? I mean, I know who you were aiming for. Wasn't anywhere near close, but no one was within 10 yards of you. You just trap the ball and take it forward. What the fuck are you doing? Anyhow, that ruined that game because even though Barca pretty much dominated the game, that was a horrible error.
We're definitely going to be talking about that. So let's put Yanks Abroad on hold here.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a heat map of Gio's time as a starter for the Barcelona game, and we'll get into a thought process that Conrad has about maybe why Gio started this match. But when you're looking at his heat map, he played a lot of defense.
Yeah, that big anal hole in the back of the field there. That's where he spent a lot of times playing defense.
Yeah, he got into the attack some and into the middle and whatnot. Not a lot. I mean, basically, Dortmund had their opportunities. They played a lot down the wings. They get the ball, they moved it up, and then all of a sudden they looked for that outside option to play quicker. Played outside to Gittins, and I'm spacing the right winger at this time's name, and they played it down and played it across or dribbled across or played it back into the 18 somehow. Mm-hmm. But there wasn't much playing out of the middle, it seemed like.
No.
And there's a lot of talk as far as people like, well, he wasn't really stamping his name into the game. He wasn't really making himself known by doing something, And the problem was that they weren't playing through the middle.
No, because he was playing box to box, even though he was listed as the CAM. they played a whole lot of fucking defense, and it sure looked like a 4-5-1 for giant parts of the game.
He looks, Gio looks like a midfielder that was raised through Dortmund, playing for a Dortmund team that's not the Dortmund of old.
No, it's not.
So this is the completely different side. They relied on their wings a lot.
And then they were playing Barca, Brett.
You bypass your midfield, and you're playing Barca. Yes, I mean it's two downsides. And I'm not taking anything away from Gio in the sense that there were things he probably could have done better at times. Covering back on defense some. I think he still needs to work on that a lot. But his defense at times was still fine. He still broke up plays, intervened, and as I mentioned, there are a number of players. Let me rephrase that. A number of people on Twitter, especially, that are sitting there going like, 73 minutes of him doing nothing.
No,
I'm like, well, that's a bit.
Then
harsh.
You didn't watch the game.
That's a bit harsh because I recounted it. I'm like, I recall that there was a play where he chipped the ball in the box.
Yep. That
he should have gotten an assist for.
The guy was offsides, and the guy failed to put in an easy header.
Exactly. There was the chip over the defense that resulted in a goal.
Right, but was
offsides. And then there was another play where he chipped the defense, and the goalkeeper had to intervene by coming 35 yards, not coming off 35 yards, but he had come out to the 35-yard area to head the ball away. Otherwise, it would have been, Dortmund player on goalie by himself. So there are all these those three opportunities front stage that if at any point could have been a goal, and it was his vision, his ability to see it. Maybe you could make that argument like, well, he's not sharp enough to notice that the guy is offside. Well, he's not looking at that. The guy was offside using that second opportunity where they actually scored the goal. The guy was offside by like half a foot. Yeah, I mean it was like milliseconds that could have been on, that could have been off, So the vision's there. He has the opportunities, and then his ability he played the ball out wide that started attacks a lot of times. I don't know. I thought it was a pretty good game. I didn't think it was a great game by any means.
And it was his first game back, and it was against Barcelona, who, since Man City's fall, is probably the best team in the world right now. I mean, some people would say that. And so, what are you going to say? Like he didn't have a great game, so that means he's just a piece of shit. No, he had a good game. He set up, as you said, several opportunities, and two of them were offsides. One was a goal, one should have been a goal. Both were offsides. And, that's what you're asking for your playmaker when you do get possession, finally, against Barcelona, is to create those goal-scoring opportunities. And that's exactly what he did. Was he great on defense? Did he make that one really bad blunder in his own final third one time? Mm-hmm. Yes. He also lost the ball a couple times too.
Sure.
It wasn't great, but how do you expect a guy that's been playing 10, 15 minutes at most, as he's coming back to fitness, and then suddenly gets a start? I mean, I didn't think he played that bad. If he was playing that bad, he would have got yanked at the 50th minute. No, he got yanked in the 70 whatever minute, right?
73rd, I believe. Yeah.
73rd. So that meant they still had faith in him, and they played him about as long as they could with the fitness that he has. Like, he's healthy, but Jesus, 90 minutes fit? No way. No way is he 90 minutes fit.
I think there's a lot of there's some of the fan base that will look at this match and say that was a fucking brilliant game. It was unlucky that he didn't get an assist here or there, whatever. And then there's a portion of the population that pushes against that and say like, that was a pretty meh game. He really didn't do anything, X, Y, and Z. And then there are those of us in the middle going like, wait a second. I think there's a middle ground we all could sit upon here. Gio did some good things, and then there were aspects of the games that he can improve upon. And come on, let's calm down here, guys.
I know.
He nearly tripled the amount of minutes he's had this season in that one game.
There are people out there like, well, he got dominated by Barcelona for most of the game. So did the whole fucking Dortmund team.
Yeah.
Like Barcelona's probably the best team in the world right now and has some of the best attacking players, and he was playing defense against. So, yeah, he's going to look like a fool at times, but he really actually didn't. So I don't know what, like, people are just deranged at this point about Gio. Either you fucking hate his guts and think he's like this horrible, guy who all his teammates hate him, which is completely false and a joke. His best friend is Jude Bellingham. Holland also being another one of his best friends. Yeah, his former teammates do not hate him, and his current teammates do not hate him. Now, did they miss the opportunity to pass the ball to him on several occasions? I don't know if you've marked this or clipped this, but I certainly did. There were times where he was open and asked for the ball and didn't get it. That frustrated me a lot. And that's just because they're just not used to seeing him. They're not used to seeing him there. They're not. Yeah. So he's got to build that chemistry back with his team.
And as we've talked about before, he's going to have ample time here in the next 6 months to do so.
Exactly. And all these people that think he's leaving in winter, you're fucking nuts. He ain't leaving. He's not leaving Dortmund.
Yeah.
And we have quoted this so many times on the show, I'm almost sick of saying it. Go read the board comments. Go read board members' comments in the German press. They have said it over and over again. The reason Terzic got fired is they lost $80 million in market value. Not in him.
Yeah, across the board. Yes.
Across the board with all their young signings, their young players and their signings, they lost $80 million because Terzic didn't play them, any of them. And so, including Reyna. Yes, that's why Terzic got fired. That's why you bring in the young gun, Sahin. They said they wanted a guy that they could bring in to connect with the young players and build them back up. They don't want to lose $80 million. They want to build Reyna and those other players that we have listed off before. I'm not going to do it again. Back up in market value so they don't lose $80 million. Because that's what they're staring in the face right now. And Dortmund are a fucking selling team. They do not want to lose $80 million on signings they made. And on Reyna, whose value was once here, and now it's down to here. They don't want that. That's $28 million they just lost on Reyna alone. So, yeah, Tack says he needs to move in January. Tack is wrong. He is wrong. Well, we love Tack. We love him. He does not need a signing in January.
He's not wrong. I mean, in fact, that Gio does need to leave Dortmund, but he's not going to leave in January. He's not
leaving in January.
Yeah.
People, this is all waste. If anything didn't prove to you that Dortmund is now ready to stand by Gio Reyna, the fact that he played in the Champions League game and started versus Barcelona should tell you everything. They have said it numerous times in the German press. In German, unfortunately, they are not giving up on Gio Reyna. They're going to play him if he's healthy and fit. He is healthy. He is fit. He started. I would expect him to play more. All right. They're not going to push the envelope. They don't need another injury. I don't see him starting back-to-back games or anything like that. Not for a while, at least. But they just did play him for 73 minutes, and I would expect they're going to continue to play him throughout this season. He's not going anywhere in the winter. They're going to lose their fucking shit and all their money if they sell off Gio Reyna for $12 million, $8 million, or whatever he'd go for at this point when he was once worth, what, 40?
40, yep.
40 mil, and now you're going to sell him off for 8. How much sense does that make as a business person? Now, they're hoping they can build him back to like 20. That's their goal right now. They're not expecting to be able to build him back up to 40. But
you give him a couple of starts. He has a couple of great performances, maybe at some point, and bags and assists, bags some goals. All of a sudden, his value is starting to increase again. You have a little more wiggle room to say, yeah, we're gonna request at least 15, 17, 18, instead. Go from there.
Because right now he wouldn't sell for much because of his injury history and the fact that he hasn't played.
Just getting back, yeah.
He's just getting back. So there's no way he is leaving in the winter, people. If Tack thinks he's should leave in the winter, he should also know that Tack should know, and I'm sure he does, that he ain't living in the winter. It ain't happening.
Well, and on this thread, I've actually said something very similar to what I was about to say in response to you. But you've been having a back and forth with Max about this. Max says that Donovan didn't say that he should go to MLS.
And I said, I thought he intimated it.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't outright say it, but he sort of, made a kind of an inclination towards that. And then Les Wallace definitely wrote about it. Not the solution for Reyna. Plenty of teams in Serie A, Bundesliga would want him at the right price. The price is ridiculous. Well, that could cause trouble. Yes. So right now, I can tell you, no one can afford what Dortmund think Gio Reyna is really worth. No one in the Bundesliga can. And in the Serie A, it's only the top 4 teams that could afford him. And they're not going to be able to get him. All right? I don't think that's happening. And it ain't going to happen over winter. Not much shit happens over the winter, by the way. I don't know if people know that. Not big moves like that.
We talked about that last show, too, yeah.
So the idea that he's living in the winter or going to MLS, for Christ's sake, that's the worst one of all. Mm-hmm. That is the worst joke, and we talked about it last show, of all from Lawless. What the fuck are you even thinking? That doesn't even make sense. What's he going to pick his ass for 3 months and then go play soccer for 10 weeks and then go back to Europe on a 6-month? What a fucking joke that is. Mm-hmm. That's a joke, right? That's a joke. Yeah. That doesn't even make soccer sense. He is staying in Dortmund. He's going to play.
So Max follows up by saying, we've been saying this for 3 years for Gio. He needs to play games somewhere. At this point, anywhere.
No, not anywhere. That's the worst thing you can say, anywhere. Because he can go play for Lausanne in Switzerland. How's that working out for Conrad?
What teams did Donovan say? Luxembourg and Latvia.
What's he even talking about? Yeah. If he's going to leave, it will be in the summer after a really, hopefully, accomplished season, knowing that his contract will be coming up eventually. But he's
got a year and a half as of right now.
Exactly. So, they might go, I don't know, they might go another full year, but they might extend him again because they keep doing it.
That's the argument right there. Like at this point, they're either selling him in the summer or they're going to extend his contract.
Yeah.
Those are the two options right there. They're not going to go into the 25-26 season without an option or something done. Something's going to get done this summer. Guaranteed.
So we love, as you know, we love Tack. We're friends, but we do disagree on stuff at times. Now, I don't think he's saying he will leave. I think he's saying he should leave. And I don't agree with should either. I don't think it. I think Dortmund has already said in all kinds of magazines in Germany and local Dortmund press, they're going to play him. If he's healthy and he's fit, we will figure out a way to get him back in the lineup and starting and playing, or at least playing regularly. Well, that's been their commitment to the young players with Sahin.
They have regular season games. They got Pokal, and they got Champions League at this point. I mean, there's a lot of games to go around. He's gonna, as long as he stays fit, and that's what I say. He needs to remain healthy. The minutes will come. He'll be he needs consistent playing time, and that may require him to leave Dortmund. We'll find out this summer.
Yes.
That's basically it.
Why are we rushing this? And why did you say it 3 years ago? 3 fucking years ago?
He's been injured for 3 fucking years, actually.
He's been injured for 3 years.
2.5 to 3 years straight at this point, minus a couple of, there's some half seasons in there that he wasn't, but still.
Yeah, I don't know why anybody be saying that for 3 years. Or 3 years ago, starting 3 years ago. Listen, his problem has always been injuries. It has never been, unless you're talking about Terzic, that was an issue for sure. But before that, with Holland, he was playing alongside Holland, playing alongside Bellingham.
Pretty fucking consistently, too.
And Terzic fucked that up, and he not only fucked Reyna up, he fucked up 3 other players that they had just signed or were other signings they had brought in who were younger.
He was practically a consistent starter 2.5 years ago.
Yes.
You would have to jump to conclusion. You would assume that he would still be relatively consistently vying for playing time if he hadn't already been sold at this point, if he remained healthy the entire time.
Yeah. So, Max, come on, man.
Well, and then
3 years ago.
So James followed up by saying, so 6 more months of wasted time.
He's not wasting his time. He just started.
He's way past being a prospect. He needs minutes. No coach rates him.
No coach rates him. Sahin rates him. He said it multiple times.
Hey, Nuno rated him too. He just he didn't rate him in the right ways. He's like, hey, this is a good, talented kid. I just have my favorites.
Well, yeah, he didn't know how to fit him into what they were doing.
Yeah, well, I mean, especially with the formation and the tactics he was playing at Forest. I mean, at that point, you had Gibbs White.
Yes,
competing against him at that point. Where are you going to put him? Although I'll say a lot of Forest fans were saying push Gibbs White back and put Reyna up.
Yep, and they did that on a couple occasions.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I had to be the voice of reason. I don't know why am I being the voice of reason? This is uncouth. It's not right. So I said it doesn't matter what we or even Gio wants right now. It's what Dortmund wants. He's been injured for nearly 3 out of the 5 years, and his market value has plummeted from 40 million to 12 million. Dortmund will likely want to keep Gio and monitor his minutes, increasing them as they feel comfortable with it, and then we'll look to sell or re-sign him in the summer, perhaps hoping for a successful international call-ups too.
How reasonable! Wow.
They won't go full year in MLS because that leaves 6 months on his contract, and 6 months and a 6-month loan would be pointless because half of it's in the preseason.
Yep.
6-month loan could be an option, but it would have to be a team desperately needing him.
That's not happening either.
Not going to happen, yeah. He just got back from a 3-4 month injury and is getting minutes. Like I said, he needs to remain healthy. Minutes will come, and the final decision will be made this summer. Just my 2 cents.
And we don't even know. Again, depending
12 people saw me being reasonable. It never happened. It never happened.
I'm just so sick of all these pud whackers not attacked and all this. We're also saying, he's a bad teammate and all that. It's just, okay. He was a bad teammate for 5 minutes with Berhalter at the World Cup. Okay. He was also 19 years old, and he, it was bad, and we called him out for it. But there has not been a single staff member, coach, or anyone that says that he is a bad teammate or a slacker in practice, or doesn't work hard in practice, or doesn't care. No one has ever said that. And by the way, when players are slackers and don't care, they do get called out, even if they're supposed gonna be superstars. Go read Julian Green's coach, his comments about Julian Green when he was on loan to Stuttgart or whatever it was.
Was it Stuttgart is Hammarby or something like that?
No. He never left Germany there. But yeah, he got hammered. His coach said we'd be better off playing with 10 players than having Julian Green on the field. So yeah, if you're a lazy fuck who doesn't give and Green, to his credit, fixed that.
Yeah, he rebounded.
He totally fixed that about himself. He is a fighter now, and he's plays in the double pivot for.
It was Stuttgart. You're right. My bad.
I was right. Okay.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, his coach hammered him in the press. Staff hammered him. His teammates hammered him. You don't get away with that in Germany. If you're a fucking prima donna superstar slacker, you get hammered either anonymously by your teammates or coaches, or in person, as fucking Green did when he was a young superstar being loaned from Bayern, and he was supposed to be the next Bayern guy. Well, he never turned into that because he wasted about 3 years of his career being a fucking superstar prima donna slacker. And he learned it, he figured it out, and he fixed it. Now, no one's ever even accused Reyna of being those things. No teammate of his has ever voiced a negative word.
There are plenty of U.S. fans who have accused him of these things.
Only U.S. fans have accused Reyna of being a shitty teammate. And this is crazy. Guess what, Brett? None of those U.S. fans on X have ever been a teammate of Gio Reyna's. Isn't that crazy?
Strange.
That's crazy. How did they get this information?
Sure about that?
Where is this information coming from? What quotes have they read? I want to know. Bullshit. I'm calling bullshit on all that, and I don't want to see it anymore. Bullshit. It is. And I don't want to see those quotes anymore. I'm getting so fucking tired of them. Fuckers who know dick squat about Gio Reyna, don't read any German papers, don't follow any of the German local Dortmund press, haven't looked into it one dick's worth, and think they've got some fucking marvelous fucking thing to share with the world when they know nothing about Gio Reyna. Absolutely zero. All they've got is Greg Berhalter's magnificent leadership movement where they nearly sent him on a plane back to fucking wherever, the Bundesliga or Dortmund. Give me a fucking break. All right.
Bandit says Derek is angry Santa.
I'm angry about this, Bandit. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of seeing it on X. These fucking know-it-alls who've done no work, no research, no look in, but continually post up shit like he needs to go in the winter, he needs to find a new team, and then guess what? Then he starts in the Champions League and they clam the fuck up and don't say shit. They don't have nothing to say all of a sudden. Not a word. They clam up and have nothing to say, and they're surprised by it. When we've been saying on this show for 2 years, wait till he's healthy, wait till he's fit. Here's what they're saying in the Dortmund press. Here's what the board's saying. Here's what their priorities are. This is why they fired Terzic. This is why. This is why they brought Sahin in, to build the young players back up, to build their playing time back up. Fuck all these other people who haven't done dick's worth of, except for reading ESPN FC and other bullshit American articles, who fucking don't know jack about the Bundesliga. Dick squat, except for Derek Ray, who, by the way, I have to commend, said, I don't know what all these American articles are about, saying that Gio Reyna is some sort of poster child for a fucking fuck up in the Bundesliga. Yeah. I've been talking to people at Dortmund since he's been there. They said nothing but amazing, great things about fucking Gio Reyna and his work rate, his effort, his, desire to become a big star in the league. All right. Derek Ray got it right. He works for ESPN FC, but none of the other ESPN FC guys, sometimes they don't care. So they really don't care about American players. But some of the articles come out, you're thinking he must be a horrible person. Gio Reyna must be the biggest cocksucking dick that ever fucking walked on the planet. Like the worst teammate to ever be. Oh, look at this argument he's having with Hummels. Oh my God, that's
mountain out of a molehill. I swear to God. All the pundits were awful, especially CBS. Fuck off.
Like you've never had an argument with a teammate? Because I have.
Oh, you got to respect him because he's your elder and he's the captain. Like, yeah, you have a disagreement. You can argue about that shit. Your teammates. He's not your fucking grandpa. I mean, Hummels was practically old enough to be his grandpa, but that's not the point.
Dortmund issued, as Fumar says, Dortmund issued a statement defending Gio during Reynagate.
Yeah,
exactly. All right, for the 169 of you here now, Giggity, make sure you like, subscribe, and share it with your grandma. Sorry, I've done this rant before. I swear to God, I have.
I mean, it keeps coming up, and we imagine. I imagine that we're slowly but surely transitioning people into it.
I hope so.
He's not a problem. But there's always going to be those people who just randomly chime in somewhere because they read an article, a year ago.
And they've never read a German article in their life because they don't know how to read German. All you got to do, if you can't, you just go to the German articles and you hit translate. And then you can read it, guys. You can read it. You can read what the board's saying. You don't have to just trust me. It's out there. It's been public info. Any of this is a surprise or a shocker, but none of them have done any work or research on Gio Reyna. Yeah. They have just done their own, prophesizing on who he is and what he's going to be.
I'm pretty sure I read an article somewhere that his parents blackmailed U.S. Soccer and Greg Berhalter. So clearly bad guys.
Blackmailed. Well, let's not wind certain people up. But
all right, so here's Gio on his performance versus Barcelona. He goes, it was great. I'm just really happy to be back on the field. It's obviously when I'm the happiest. That's weird wording. Mm-hmm. When Sahin told me that I get the chance to play, obviously I want to take it and have a good game. Let's see. He really wanted me to play my game and use my ability on the ball and talents to find the ball in areas and get other guys involved, which, like we mentioned beforehand, did perfectly fine it.
When they had possession, which was rare, yes.
Yeah. And I feel like I did a good job at that. Really just happy to be back out there today. I just have to take it and fight for more opportunities and look to really improve now. So it was a nice little statement.
He looked totally, like, as Flumar says, he looked comfortable. He didn't look out of place against the best team in the world. He looked very comfortable. He looked calm. He just wasn't a spaz. His head was kind of in the game. Yeah. Okay. Let's just. Oh, you got more on this?
More? I got a couple things more for Gio here. Yeah.
All right, let it rip.
I think good news tonight, obviously for the US fans back at home, seeing that, well, Mackenzie and Weah, they are on the bench for Juventus, but we are seeing a couple of US players start. Musa starting for AC Milan, Giovanni Reyna starting for Dortmund against Barcelona. First time that he started since April for him.
That's a massive note there. Is that it's his first start since April.
Yes.
Big.
Yes, big.
So, and again, take what rust he's shown. You can sit there and pinpoint like, well, he did this and this wrong. Well, he hasn't started a fucking match since April. So,
yeah.
How do you like that one, Landon Donovan?
Oh,
what do you reckon?
Oh,
good news for Giovanni Reyna.
You took a shot.
Well, I think he said something about if he was stayed in the MLS, he'd get more playing time or something like that.
And that would have been better for him, he thought.
No, but for me, I disagree with what Landon's saying.
Thank you, Clint.
Well, it's funny. I mean, I'm kind of surprised. I mean, Howard kind of glossed over it and said, like, hey, we went about our careers differently, but he didn't specifically disagree with him. He didn't say, no, I think there are some players out there that are more than capable of skipping MLS and going straight to the big boys.
Yeah,
and that's what Dempsey's saying. He's like, I disagree with him.
Good.
I think Gio should have gone to Dortmund when he went to Dortmund, and I think he's the better player for it.
Yeah,
that's basically what he's saying.
Good.
Because it's not about his ability. It's about whether or not he can stay fit. And if he can stay fit, he has the ability to be playing at a Champions League club like he's doing now. And that's the reason why he started tonight in a huge game versus Barcelona.
Well, I mean,
thank you.
Why hasn't he started in?
Yeah.
Oh, well, she's going to, why is he that? Because he hasn't been fit.
Well, we'll see what she has to say. But yeah, basically, Dempsey's saying the exact same thing that we've been saying, is that he would have been playing, he would have been receiving many a minute.
Under Sahin, he would, yes.
Even under Terzic, if he was healthy, he would have received more minutes. Now, he may not have been a consistent starter under Terzic, but we saw that in that one window when he came back from being injured, and he was a super sub, and he scored something like 7 goals in the second half of the season.
Yeah.
He still would have seen time under Terzic if he would have remained healthy.
He saved Terzic's job, honestly.
Yeah. So that's what she's saying.
So long then.
Because it's his fitness. He can't show that he can stay fit consistently. And that's kind of been his.
I'll tell you one thing. He keeps using the word fit. I think fit, to me, fit sounds like he can't run a mile in under 6 minutes or something like that.
Right.
I would think we can't remain. I mean, I understand that it means more things than just, in shape and all. But I would have said he can't remain healthy. That's what I would have said, personally.
By the way, IDK says Barca's far from the best. Who's better? Real Madrid? Not Man City. Man City or
Brest. Brest is better.
Brest are always better.
Yeah.
Always better, yeah.
Always better. Always better.
His issue that he's
and
had.
you feel like wherever he was, he would have that same problem. MLS here in Europe.
He's just
makes no
moping.
difference.
I'm not
He
saying
walks
that,
around the pitch.
but I'm just saying if he stayed fit, his ability,
he
should be a Champions League caliber player. He should be at a big club, and he can do the business. So that's what I'm saying. Is it's been more of a fitness issue than his ability. And
injury
I feel
issue.
Exactly, yeah.
Injury, not just fitness.
I would say McKennie has that fitness issue.
Yes. But
when he's fit, he's fit. But when he's not fit, he's not fit.
No, and it's easy to see too. But Reyna just hasn't been healthy enough to be fit. He can't run. What's he? He's got to stay off his legs while he's recovering. So, yeah. All right. Anyhow,
if he would have stayed more fit, he'd have played more.
Do you think Landon Donovan's saying that because he never cut it abroad?
Here goes Jake.
Ooh. By the way,
I love how Kate kind of cut him off, dude. She's like, because she's gonna specify, Jimmy just loves a title. He loves an article, headline is what she says.
I think Jamie missed the 1 season and a half, or the 2 half seasons that Landon Donovan played at Everton. I think those were good seasons.
Those are really good seasons, yeah. It indicates what could have been.
Yeah, first season is special. But
I mean, I understand if he wasn't handling it at Leverkusen, he wanted to come home. But I mean, at that point, once you run through your MLS contract, and I'm sure he had offers at that point, he should not have extended his contracts in MLS. That's on him. But it shows his time at Everton. It shows what he could have been. And I know that he gets crapped on for his time at Bayern too, at Bayern Munich.
I didn't think that was that bad.
I didn't think it was that bad. Yeah, he wasn't that bad. He wasn't as bad as people made it out to be.
I didn't think so, but because I think at that time he really wanted to make it work, but at Everton, he got a couple game of the match, player of the match.
Yeah,
right off the bat, his first season at Everton, and started coming off the bench, and then played a few games starting too. I mean, listen, I think could Landon have played more in the EPL? Yeah, but again, he only made that decision to go play abroad to get away from his divorce. Let's be really fair. He said it at the time. I had to get away from California. I had to clear my mind. I decided to go play soccer and go play in the EPL. And it was a good decision, and it was a great decision. He played well while he was there.
Didn't that also lead to his year off or his time off, because he played for practically 2 years straight?
He played nonstop soccer with no breaks for 2 years, and then people, after his divorce was over, wondered why he had a mental breakdown. Well, people have mental breakdowns. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
So
there's always one party of the divorce that doesn't actually want to get divorced. Usually
he didn't, obviously.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So
Amy.
I mean, I think he did it. He did it in spells in terms of his loan spells, but he's never.
No, it was only 6 months.
But he never did it for a full season. So you know what I mean.
So you did, right? You did. Huh?
I mean, some people did. You know what I mean. But and there was others before me. But
do you think he's championing the MLS because that's where he made his?
Yes, I agree.
I think he puts on his MLS hat a little bit. In my
yes, thank you.
On his MLS hat.
Yes, he does put on his MLS hat. Thank you, Clint. Clint's telling the truth. Good.
Well, I mean, didn't we find out during the just kicking it that him and Donovan weren't necessarily very close, and at times butting heads?
Yeah, they were never really close.
Yeah,
no.
I mean, he's not saying anything disparaging by any means, but he's obviously not acting like the closest of buddies by saying, yeah, I think he's definitely shilling out a bit here.
They're closer now than they've ever been.
Sure, I agree. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, absolutely. I would imagine
they're friends now. They weren't ever friends when they were, but he's still not going to lie. Clint's not going to lie about this. Yeah.
Opinions.
Well, what do you think, Jamie?
Let him be. Let the guy stop cooking it.
What?
No, I mean,
Jamie loves a headline.
He's like, do you think? No, but it sounds a ridiculous statement if you're saying someone should be playing in the MLS rather than playing it in the Bundesliga or the Champions League. That just sounds absolutely ridiculous. So there must be something behind it. There must be some sort of idea behind it. Is he after the job?
There's got to be a reason behind it.
Yes. And the reason for Landon Donovan saying these things is his own fucking personal experience, which, by the way, Landon Donovan is not Gio Reyna.
No.
Okay? Gio Reyna is a fucking superstar, wants to be a superstar, wants to play in Champions League, wants to be one of the greatest players that ever lived. He has high expectations. Landon Donovan was a loner, had depression issues, was not bold on the field, was not brash, was not, you might label arrogant in his young years, and certainly was an introvert. And maybe Rain is an introvert too, but boy, he's got balls the size of cannonballs.
Donovan's probably more Pulisic, I mean, in the sense of personality-wise.
Yeah, but Pulisic is not coming. He's not going to MLS. The idea that he would was crazy.
The whole introvert. Like you see Pulisic in interviews, and he's just like, can this be over anytime soon, please?
I think it comes down to aspirations, though.
Sure,
like the difference between all three of those guys is Reyna and Pulisic have higher aspirations.
They got goals, and they're aiming for them.
Donovan just wanted to play, and he didn't care where. Like, just let me play. Oh, this whole thing that I'm going through in the Bundesliga as a 19 and 18-year-old, fuck that. I hate this.
Like 17, yeah.
I thought I was supposed to play, and I'm not getting to play, so I'm out of here. No. Those two guys would never do that. They fight. They fight and fight and fight. Like, I mean, we watched
They are.
Yeah, we watched the Landon Donovan interview. He said it himself. He's like, I got there. It wasn't a given that I was going to play. I said, fuck it, and I want it out from Leverkusen. I want it out, right? So there you go.
Making a statement on his level. Is that what Landon's saying?
You're going to have to ask Landon. I mean, I'm not him. I'm just saying I disagree with what he's saying, that he should have gone back to MLS. I think it was more of a situation where if he stayed fit, he'd be playing week in and week out. And that's what's the issue every year.
So Clint thinks he said it too.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. I'm not alone then.
No. There's definitely, I mean, when you're talking about Gio's playing time and you bring up MLS, even though you don't say he should go to MLS, there's definitely I don't blame people for reading into it that he should be going to MLS.
Yes.
To find playing time.
I thought he intimated it.
I mean, word for word. I mean, what Donovan did is he basically spelled out that it was a youth thing, and that if Gio was playing, he'd be 300 games plus and healthy and vying for a European spot at that point. It's like, why? But if he had remained healthy, and there's no reason to assume that he would have remained healthy in MLS, but not in Europe. That's just silly talk.
Oh, it's silly talk to think if you go play in MLS, you're not going to get hurt.
Yeah,
you're going to get hurt there too.
Yeah, your boy from LA got injured.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, Reyna's injuries aren't unique to the Bundesliga. He would have got injured the same way playing in MLS. Probably, maybe. We don't know for sure, but
the national team more than anything.
It's not like the MLS is not a physical league. It's pretty physical sometimes.
Yeah, so, Gio was perfectly healthy until he started playing for Greg.
That's true. It is often coming off of, the windows where he'd be injured. Yep.
Okay. Well, we got one more video clip I want to play for Gio, and then we'll move on.
Well, we got we got to finish up Yanks Abroad.
No, that's move on with the Yanks Abroad, of course.
Okay.
Of course, Derek. That's what I'm talking about.
All right.
We had Mr. Conrad and Mr. Chuck.
All right.
So Jimmy's got to bring up an idea because they're gonna talk about Gio possibly leaving in January. And he's going to pose an idea as far as why Gio started this match against Barcelona.
Okay. I know what it's going to be.
I mean, he must be training well for them to trust him in the Champions League game against Barcelona. But I wonder if there's also an element of, let's put him in the shop window against a good opponent, and if he plays well, then maybe we can move him along. I just think that might be a possibility. 135 minutes in all comps this season, 6 games, 1 start. This is his first start. Yeah.
So he's saying that Gio must have been working well in training to get the start, because why would you start him against an important match in Champions League? But maybe they're looking at it saying, well, he goes out there, he has a good game against Barcelona, and it's going to drive up interest come this January.
That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. The shop window has to be open for weeks and months on end. It cannot be one game. One game is not going to make a difference. People are
professional player does not make.
People are still going to wonder, is he injury prone? Is he going to get injured again? I want to see him play a whole nother season to finish out this season with Dortmund before I spend my good money on Gio Reyna. I want to see if he can stay healthy for the rest of this fucking season. The idea that one game is going to get them a signing or put him in the shop window. I mean, sure, but this is part of the shop window. But this shop window, by the way, is going to be open for the rest of the season. It ain't closed after the winter, okay? They're not selling him in the winter. They need him to be in the shop window for the rest of the season to boost up his market value. So I don't know what Jimmy's saying there. I don't know what I'm disagreeing with necessarily, but this one game ain't it.
This is the other thing is people are assuming that all windows are created equal, and they're not. The January window is not the same as the summer window.
That's correct.
More money is pushed through transfers in the summer window than you'll ever see in the winter by any means. So we talked about this beforehand, and we'll cover it again, I'm sure, in the future. But whenever he was signing with Forrest, and Forrest paid the $1 million to get his services in that sense, whatever. But
Dortmund didn't want to do that, by the way.
Yeah, we were looking at all the other transfers that winter window, and there were a couple of relatively smaller blockbusters. You have one that would have been like 32 mil, which would have been a big one. But then you had a bunch of like 12s. When I say a bunch, I mean like a handful. And then the rest were all like about around $1 million or less.
Yeah.
And what you saw Bayern looking to bring in some players to help shore up their depth. You saw Real Madrid make a big name transfer, or Barcelona, one of the two. And aside from that, it's just like a bunch of tiny little moves from other teams. And there's just not a lot of money being flooded through the winter window.
An example of the kind of player you might get in the winter would be Leonard Maloney. Leonard Maloney was offered a new contract with Heidenheim. He said, yeah, we're not doing so good this season. I think I am not going to re-sign. I think what I'm going to do is look at the winter transfer window and see if Mainz or somebody above us wants to sign me, because I think that's probably a better career move for me. And I think I've already made my statement about who I am as a player here. And I think we're going down.
On a Bundesliga team with a Bundesliga salary at that point. Right. I heard he played center back today.
I didn't get to watch.
I saw somebody on Twitter say that.
I did not see that. But you know what? It's not surprising if somebody watch a game and think he played center back.
Yeah, it's true.
Even though he didn't. So, yeah, he plays such a deep lying center defensive midfield role. You might think he is a part of a back three, really, honestly. So there you go.
Yeah, so not a lot of money going through the winter window. So why would Gio possibly be included here?
He's not going to be.
Not going to happen. Yeah, a loan possible, I guess, but not likely. I still think Dortmund wants to control it.
Dortmund. This is step one in their plan. So they played in the last few games, 10, 15, building it up, started him this game. They're going to say, that was not bad.
Yep.
Let's start him again.
Step two is to give him more minutes.
Right.
Step
maybe
3
not
is question marks, and then step 4 is profit.
Maybe not 2 games in a row right away.
Yeah.
But we'll give him every other game. We'll start him. Or we'll see. We'll see how it works out. They just started against Barcelona. I think he's going to start against Mainz and fucking goddamn St. Pauli. I think they can afford to do that. So they want the money. Dortmund want the money. And they are currently $28 million in the hole from one player, Gio Reyna.
You look at the Barcelona game and go, well, he created 3 opportunities there.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't pan out for various reasons, but one would imagine against a lower end Bundesliga team that at that point maybe he creates a couple more chances, and then a couple more. Maybe we capitalize on some of those chances.
Yeah,
I don't know. Again, I'm not saying that he's going to come out and be a consistent starter moving forward, but his minutes are going to continue to increase because, like we've been saying, Dortmund wants that money. Simple as that. Simple as that.
Go ahead.
You'd be naive, Jimmy, to think that wouldn't be a possibility of saying, hey, you know what? We're going to get Duranville on the pitch. We're going to get Nemec on the pitch, Rain on the pitch, show that they can play, right? That they're fit. And this is a good opportunity. If they do well, great. We win the game and their value goes up, or just to show that they're healthy and see what options are out there for them.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
Game. Really? We're talking about one game.
I think
they really are talking about one game.
I think after this match, though, Derek, against Barcelona, I think Gio's market value is probably going to increase to at least $32 million.
I think it went up by like maybe $50,000. Come on, guys. You guys are the pros, the ex-pros. You should know more about how the transfer market works than this. That's like saying, oh, well, Paxton Pomykal had this really great season at FC Dallas, and he's going to go off to Bayern. Well, then he was injured for 4 years straight. Now nobody wants him, and he can't run anymore. He has no speed. He's the slowest MLS player in MLS because of his injuries.
Like I was saying in that Max thread, I feel like everybody who's bringing this up, and I lump us in with Jimmy and Chuck in this situation too, but they're looking at it through a Gio lens. What's the best for Gio? What
are they?
Gio needs playing time. He needs to move.
Are they?
Well, from their standpoint, sure.
Well, they're wrong.
But the thing is, unfortunately, this is a business, and I'm gonna lean into my inner lawless in this situation. It's a business, and Dortmund's not gonna want to just offload him in the winter. They're gonna want to control that, and they're gonna try to control the raise in his market value, and then negotiate in the summer.
So
simple as that.
Was the loan to Nottingham Forest a great idea? Like, do we really want to do a loan, or you want to sell him off to some MLS team? Is that really good for Reyna's career? Of course it's not. It's not. And they're not going to get the kind of deal they want in the winter for a player who's been injured most of the time for the last 3 years. They need to show he can stay healthy for a full fucking rest of this season. And then they're going to try to re-sign him if he has a good season. And because they still want to continue building on that market value. And if he doesn't have a good season, like a really shitty one, then they'll have to just give up on him in the summer. But they're not ready to give up on him, which is obvious. He just started a Champions League game. This is the beginning of the shop window. It isn't the shop window. This is the beginning of many shop windows for Ncheka, as well as Reyna and a lot of other younger players on that team. So, yeah.
Well, let's see. They do break off into talking about the possible locations, because they are under the impression that possible loan could be in the cards. They do talk about the locations. We're not going to go each individual league because I didn't go through that. I didn't timestamp it, and quite frankly, I don't care enough to worry about that. They talk about a lot of the known teams in that could use a player like Gio, like mid-table teams to high, if you will.
There are plenty of mid-table teams, yes. Yep.
Eredivisie, all that stuff.
Oppenheim.
But I really want just to focus on one aspect and just see how we're on the same page on some things with Jimmy and Chuck. We do disagree at times, like we just did
on this.
There's some things we always agree with. So let's just see what they have to say here.
So I kind of want to take it country by country, but we have a few of our former U.S. men's national team teammates out there. One goes by Landon, the other one goes by Alexi, that are saying he should come to MLS. Now, if we start with MLS as one of the countries that he could come to, I just want to put my flag in the ground and say that he should go to the Chicago Fire and get wrapped.
No.
What a troll.
What a troll.
I think Gio needs to go under the tutelage of Greg Berhalter for a season. And he'll come out ready to roll.
Johnny says, stand up for Maloney. That's all we've been doing for like the last year, dumbass. Come on, Larry. We love you, but you're being a dumbass. All we do is say nice things about Maloney here. All right, anyhow.
Yeah, so, I mean, obviously Jimmy's joking here, but let's continue. Let's see what Chuck has to say about MLS.
All right.
Round 2 of Reyna versus Berhalter. I want that happen. I'm putting that out to the universe because I think that's what we all want. We want a little drama, right? It raises the stakes, Chuck. It raises.
That would be funny, though.
Could you imagine? No.
Could you imagine?
No, there's no way Gio's playing for Berhalter ever.
Yeah.
Ever again.
Gio would tell Dortmund, like, I am just going to sit the bench for the next year and a half and leave on free.
Yeah.
Then go play for that motherfucker yet again.
Yeah. He's not going to Chicago. No. They're joking, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't imagine, but there is something there.
No, I can't even believe you threw that out there. It's just no. Absolutely not. No. Jeez, you're asking for a hell on earth. No.
Okay. So I don't think going to MLS is the answer. So I don't know if you agree with that. That's a quick one. Okay, good. Let's move on to some other options.
That's an easy one for me. Just because you're guaranteed to play in MLS, just because you're guaranteed to play in MLS, that doesn't mean that's the right move for you. And I think Alexi and Landon, with all due respect, because obviously they love MLS and they want to see our country
so do we,
have the best players, right?
But for Gio, I don't think it's the best decision.
But almost to a detriment to what they obviously want our national team.
Yeah. To the detriment of our national team, they want players to come back to MLS.
I know, it's such a jerk off bullshit thing.
I love how he got there. He got there with it though.
He did.
Why in the world would you possibly want our best players to come to MLS?
Well, it's good to see that we're not alone.
Yeah.
And we've had Lawless on this show, obviously, and we have a relationship with him, and we like Alexi as a person. But boy, is he wrong. And we love Landon Donovan as a U.S. men's national team player, but boy, is he wrong often.
See, and it's funny because if we had Lawless back on here, we talked about this, he might make 1 point and then just sort of like shrug it off like, we disagree. And we wouldn't have this big debate. But if we had Chuck on here and we talked about something he said, like PFOC not being able to dribble, then all of a sudden flip-flop the next week, I feel like we'd have like 10 minutes of him ranting to make his point.
Maybe so.
It's two totally different podcasting styles there, but
yeah. Oh, by the way,
conversation one doesn't.
For the 183 of you here now, make sure you subscribe. It would help. Share it with your grandma. Leave a ridiculous comment down in the comment section to boost the algorithm. Yeah.
After the show's over, go back into the comments and make a comment.
Right.
Because what we post in the live section doesn't actually affect our comments at all.
No, it doesn't.
It's fun, and as Fumar mentioned, we've got the best chat in all of U.S. soccer coverage.
I think so. I really do. By the way, picking up where we left off with the Yanks abroad, then we got Weah and McKennie, both coming in with 21 minutes left. And you're thinking, wow, are they going to do something? And boy, did they do it. With the scissor kick and the pass from Weah. I mean, it was genuine Milky Way Snickers bars. It was 1,000.
It was a copy and paste version of the Juve versus Barcelona scissor kick. I mean, almost identical.
It was just a joy. And you know what? I only watched 40 minutes of that game. I fast forwarded to the second half. I watched 42 minutes. I fast forwarded a little beyond halftime. That's all I just wanted to watch those two go.
How was there? I didn't get to watch a match. How was their performance after that?
Pretty good. Pretty solid. But you know what? They took the one chance available and they made it happen.
Yeah.
Good for those guys.
The funny thing is when I saw Weston play the ball to Weah, and I was like, oh, Weah's gonna have a shot. But then he like mishandled it at first, enough for the defender to get back in time. And you could see Weston as he's running in there he's jumping around.
I'm here, yeah.
Over here. So it's like he got it back across, and it was a nice little chip back in there, but kind of behind him. That's why he kind of went to a scissor kick.
Well, the original pass by Weah was to the first runner. Then that got blocked, went right back to Weah, and then Weah lifted his head, saw McKennie doing that, and just chipped it right on his fucking foot. Yeah. It was beautiful. And I just one of those moments where you're like, fuck, yes, it happened. All right. And then Musa went 90.
Well, one sec. We got some McKennie things. McKennie and Weah things here.
Musa didn't go 90. He came out before that. Thiago Moto on U.S. men's national team midfielder Weston McKennie. McKennie, for example, has played a great game. He has an unusual physicality and technical qualities that allowed him to be dangerous in insertions. Oh, that's not good for sex. It's lucky to have players like that. Yes.
So I wrote, man, perhaps I need Brock to translate that because the above is wanting. He's really good at insertions, dude.
He's dangerous.
So Puckhead, he goes, dude told that he was great and that he has the physical and technical skills to be dangerous at insertions. That's literally every dude's dream.
Okay, but
how'd the date go, guy 2? She said I possessed a level of physical and technical skills that make my insertions dangerously good.
Well, dangerously great. Okay, dangerous. I don't think most women want dangerous insertions, but okay. I get what you're saying there. They want them to be.
I imagine what he's saying. He's dangerous in penetrating the box.
Yeah, you don't want to be dangerous at penetrating the box. You need to know where you're headed. Like, you don't want to put it in the wrong hole. You know what I mean?
Sure. I'm sure they don't want that at all. But things happen.
Not a lot of space in the pee hole. So you got to aim right.
I wasn't going for that one. I was going for the other hole.
No, that's okay. I mean, you don't want to miss if they don't want you to be there.
So
for sure.
So clearly, I mean, obviously, Weston's had a great time at Juve. Weah's coming into his own now at Juve. And, of course, we have commenters from previous teams that Weston partook in saying the same old. So, hold on. There's an actual video here, so I guess I need to pull the video or audio up. Hold on 1 second.
Still bitching about Leeds, are they?
They are, in fact. So I want to skip what he says there. Let's go straight to the video. Let's listen to what Weston has to say in this interview.
Okay.
Exactly. Can I ask you one more question before you go? What was your time like in Leeds? For the Leeds brother here, you know? Yeah.
First off, like, ooh, put me on the spot. That's what he has to say.
Okay, I'll say this. Leeds as a club, the people within the club, I liked. The city itself and, the surroundings, it was a little bit hard. It was always gray. I had a sunlight window in my house, and there was never any sun coming through. So
I wouldn't have said that.
So
I wouldn't have said that.
Yeah. Did you go to Chapeltown though? Some Maureen's for some chicken and rice.
No. No Sunday roast, no nothing, bro. I was alone.
You was in the posh areas.
My area was like no area. It was nothing around me.
I used to come to CBT, baby.
Oh my goodness. Exactly.
All right. Yeah, I wouldn't have criticized. I would have just said, you know what? It's a tough time. I'm not going to comment on that. I'm going to stay out of that.
He came out. He goes, hey, I enjoyed my time with the team, with the people around the team, but the city life around there just wasn't for me.
You're not there for that, though, Brett.
Well, I mean, it's Weston. Of course, he is there for that. And you know what? The funny thing is, if you recall, Diego was on our show. And he mentioned he's going to go to Leeds, and the biggest drawback there is going to be the nightlife for Weston because the nightlife. I get it. So he even goes and he mentions he's like my posh areas. My area was no area. There's nothing around me. Basically, that the city itself lacked in extracurricular activities. Basically.
No, come on.
That's what he's saying.
Who cares?
He didn't enjoy.
He's there to do a job, dude. The job is play soccer. Fuck the rest of it.
So Derek, your job is to teach, and then you do nothing but go home and sit on your couch. I mean, I know that's what you do personally, but you when you're younger, you didn't just play your songs and then go home and sit down on the couch and do nothing. You went out and did shit, did you not?
I did.
Yes, you did.
But I wasn't a professional athlete.
Doesn't matter. Professional musicians still go out and do shit on the town.
But professional musicians don't need to be fit and in shape and get lots of sleep.
Well, I mean, after a game, you can go.
Don't go around comparing professional musicians.
I'm just saying.
Professional athletes.
If you're a 22, 23, 24-year-old playing as a professional athlete, everybody's looking at nightlife at that point. Okay. I mean, there are some players like Pulisic who's probably not. He's more than happy to go home and watch the tape over 5 times.
It's a 6-month loan.
Drink warm glass of milk.
It's a 6-month loan. You can't figure out how to commit yourself for 6 months. Come on.
I'm sure he committed himself perfectly fine. He probably went to practices, probably played the game. I mean, he definitely played the games. But I mean, after that time, what are you going to do? You're just going to go back and eat some avocado toast and plain chicken breast?
Whatever,
and
dude.
just,
Come on.
catch
Just
up
focus
on
on the team. Focus on your team and your work on the team.
How much focusing on the team can you do, though?
That should be your life. You're there for 6 months, and you're there to save the team from relegation. That's all I'm going to think about at that point. That's my passion. And I'm going to go home, eat dinner, and go to fucking bed, and get up and go to practice.
Pretty lame existence right there.
So what? It's for 6 months. Anybody can do lame for 6 months.
So if somebody's back in Turin, it's okay then to go on and enjoy the nightlife? It's just because he's on a 6-month loan?
I'm sure we saw him come back from Leeds and stop doing that completely and dedicate himself to a great diet, a great fucking training. And he went out and fucking came back thin from Leeds and fit as a fiddle. And then what did we see at the beginning of this season? No, fat, not ready. Then he put his mind to it. He got fit. Sometimes it's your listen, the other thing about musicians, the fucking Rolling Stones have been playing for goddamn 80 years. He is going to get a small window to make his big bucks. And then you know what? When he turns 36, he can retire and go jerk off and fuck whores or sluts or do whatever the fuck he wants.
I'm not saying while he's in Leeds, he needs to go down to the corner store and buy a whole fried pizza and fried Snicker bar. But if he wants to go out to a fucking bar or a club, he can go out to a fucking bar and club and drink a bottle of champagne. That's not going to pack on the pounds if you're doing that once in a while.
And he did do that while in Leeds, by the way. It just wasn't very sunny, as he said. Needs more vitamin D, right? All right. Well, anyhow, it's neither here nor there.
You're painting these guys as if they have to be Boy Scouts, man.
No. I'm not saying he needs
literally
to be
what you said.
I'm just saying there's nothing to do, so just focus on.
Weston, you shouldn't go out and enjoy yourself when you're
Brett,
on the pitch itself. You should sit at home, eat your dinner, go to sleep by 6 o'clock,
Brett,
wake up by 4 a.m., run to practice,
Brett, you're not
and then
listening.
practice again. Rinse and repeat for 6 months.
You're not listening. He's saying there's nothing to do. My point is, if there's nothing to do, then just focus on the job.
I'm certain there are.
For 6 months, when there's nothing to do in a shithole like Leeds, then focus on your job. Then go back to Juventus and go partying again.
I'm certain there are pubs. I'm certain there are kind of clubs.
He just said there wasn't.
Well, I mean, to his likings, I'm sure. I mean, if he were to come to Indianapolis and enjoy the club life compared to Miami's club life, it's going to be night and fucking day. There are clubs in Indiana.
Comparing Indianapolis to Leeds is still night and day. You don't understand.
I'm using that as an example, Derek.
Dude, you don't understand what you're talking about when you're talking about Leeds. You don't understand Leeds, do you? Like that town in that area.
No, I've never been to fucking Leeds, Derek. That's beside the point. That's not the point I'm making, though.
My point is it's Podunk. He should have known he was going to Podunk. And if you're going to Podunk, the only purpose you have for being at Podunk is to focus on your game and getting Leeds in, staying up. That's it.
And to use the example I mentioned, let's say he's in the United States. Going to Indianapolis is going to seem rather podunk compared to, say, Miami.
Dude, you could party your ass off in Indianapolis.
I'm not saying you can't. I'm comparing the difference between the two. He's used to a certain type of lifestyle when it comes to the nightlife. Leeds didn't have it. They had a nightlife lifestyle. I'm certain of it.
It's not that big of a drop-off between Miami and Indianapolis. It's a drop-off, but it ain't rock-bottom drop-off. Leeds,
you're taking it to an extreme. I'm making a point that there's a difference between what he's used to, what he's experienced.
Well, he knew that going into it, Brett. He already knew. He knew he's going to Leeds.
About how the weather is crap and how he didn't enjoy himself outside of practice.
He already talked to fucking Adams and Aronson. They both said, "Yeah, there's nothing to do here."
So like Adams and Aronson are doing anything besides going to putt and golf.
Well, that's true for both of them.
Come on.
They're not partiers.
A horrible example there.
Jesus, I'm not saying you shouldn't.
What's a club life in Leeds?
Okay.
Well, I mean, I use a putter when I go golfing.
Brett, all I am saying, and this is as simple as this, if you are going to Leeds, you know the situation, you know what you're getting into, so just focus on playing. Then when your loan is done, you go back to Juventus and do what you got to do, which he didn't do, thankfully. He stopped partying altogether after Leeds and got his shit totally in order.
Well,
good for him.
He ate better and probably drank less. I agree, but I doubt he stopped partying altogether.
I'm sure he didn't. We know he's a partier,
Exactly.
but there was nothing to party at in Leeds.
Actually, I'll say why he got fit is because he actually paid for a personal chef after he got back from Leeds.
And if you're a Leeds player, you're not going to the local pubs and etc. generally to party. That's a bad idea if you're not winning. So yeah, that's a really bad idea. So anyhow, let me finish the shit. Our Henri Chase in the 18 for Stuttgart versus Balogun. No, not versus Balogun. Balogun was injured, so he didn't play. Nor did Henri Chase. Dwayne Holmes, 11 minutes in a win versus Ethan Horvath, who Horvathed it for the full 90 and didn't play for Cardiff. Haji Wright's injured. That would have been a Haji Wright versus Daryl DK game. They were both injured. Blah, blah, blah. And then we got Matisse Albert, 63 minutes for Dortmund's U19 team in a loss versus Barca's U19 team. But you know what? He started and played for 63. He did not have the tremendous results we were used to from Matisse Albert. But I have a lot of hope for this kid. This Matisse Albert kid looks really good in the short clips I have seen. So,
like you mentioned earlier, there's video clips of coverage where even German press are saying it too. So
yeah, they are too. Now the local Dortmund press is like, "Whoa, this 15-year-old kid is playing with the big fucking boys at the U19 boys, who are all older than him by 4 years, 3 years in most cases, and he's balling." Matisse Albert is the real deal. All right. Testament, 9 minutes today in that win for Lyon. That was again, and then Timmy Chandler was in the 18 for Frankfurt. Obviously, they did not have Nathaniel Brown in the roster because he was not registered to play for the Champions League at the beginning of the season because they had no idea how good he was going to be. And now that he's that good, they kind of missed out on that, didn't they? All right, Bello. 90 minutes in a loss, a really bad loss in the Conference League? What are they calling these?
Yeah, a Europa Conference or
Europa, whatever. Fucking who cares? It's like the second and third division of these fucking. Who cares? Outside of the Champions League, I don't care about the lower cups, the second division cup or the third division cup.
Who you play against?
I don't remember.
There's another American on the team. I thought
they lost 7-0.
Somebody posted it was a American on American or Yank on Yank crime. And they mentioned Bello, so
I don't remember, but I know that Lask got their ass handed to them. And maybe somebody will know in the comments.
Fiorentina actually it must not have been Yank on Yank because I don't think.
It was Fiorentina. There's no American in Fiorentina.
No, they must have mentioned it. It must have been about a different game then. God,
yeah,
7-0. I mean, that's clear. I mean, Fiorentina is a significantly better team.
Well, that just shows you Lask being last season one of the better teams in Austria. They're getting their ass handed to them by Fiorentina. A not that great this season team in Italy. A decent team for sure. But I mean, 7-0? Are they that good? Are they that better than Lask? Well, apparently they are.
Well, then where's Lask in Austria at this point? Where are they in the league?
They're mid-table this year.
I mean, makes sense.
Yeah. Cardoso, 45 minutes. So he's back. He's back. Yeah. They only played him for a half. Smart because of fitness.
Yeah.
But he did get 45 in that win for Betis, a 1-0 win, I believe it was. And then that was also Conference League. This is the third division. The third fucking division of European Cup games. Like, I can't believe we're doing this. As if these players are not already played enough games this season in their leagues and then their local cup leagues. Now they got to go off and play a third division league European tournament against fucking totally whack-ass teams like Lask. Really? Okay.
I mean, yeah, that also begs the question. I mean, do these teams, I mean, maybe they do, but do they like spending the money to travel around and play those whack-ass lower-class teams like you said?
I mean, I'll take a second division tournament, but now you're throwing in the conference league? Fucking conference league? Third division European Cup? Like, what do they get? A tiny, like, drop of sperm in a cup when they win? What the fuck do you get for winning that? Like a thimble? Really? And then Maloney and Heidenheim had to play in this bullshit tournament, and they lost too. And they are looking like total jackassery shit. And I don't blame for Maloney for not re-signing with Heidenheim and saying, you know what? I'll just test myself in the winter market. I'll go out and see if Mainz want me or Hoffenheim. Yeah, I think I'll do that. That's what he's doing. He's like, I'll just test myself in the market.
Let me pull this up real quick. Maloney played at center back and got pulled at the 61st minute. They lost 3-1. So I mean,
they had to.
Great games.
They had to. They pulled them and went to a back three, I think, because they were down.
They're down, yeah.
But anyhow, who'd they lose to? A Turkish team.
Yeah.
Can you blow that up a little? I can't read that. Başakşehir. Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. Başakşehir. So yeah, I mean, getting stomped by a Turkish team that bad, that's pitiful.
Well, Heidenheim maintained most possessions. They had 16 shots on goal. They just couldn't put anything away.
Nope. And I think that's also reflects some of their games against the lower teams in the Bundesliga this season, too. Have the possession, can't score.
Yeah.
Against St. Pauli and some of the minnows. Can't do it. So they're going to probably be relegated. So anyhow, I think that's going to do it, Brett, for the night.
Okay.
All right. For the almost 200 of you who are here tonight, we do appreciate it. It's been fun. Probably yelled too much, so I apologize for that. But you know what? Sometimes you need to yell.
Everyone wears headphones, so it's no worse.
Well, it's like when I had to yell about supporting your stepsister and your stepbrother, you know, in their getting together thing, right? Because if you're the brother of the sister and you love your sister and you know, you just met this guy, came into your life a couple of years ago, and you're in your, you know, early high school years. It's not like he's really your brother. He's not really your brother. He's just a new addition to the family. And your sister just met him. I mean, it's cool if they hook up, you know, and I think all the people in the family need to get, you know, accustomed to that being a normal thing because they're not really related. They're not related. And I know Tack's having a hard time grasping this, but you know what? A lot of families have opened up to these kind of things. They're like, we understand it. They didn't grow up together. They met when they were 14. They fell in love. They got married. It's all fine. It's all good. All right. We will be back on Monday. Are we back on Monday? Yes, we are back on Monday. I'm not sure what we're going to do through the holiday season yet. We'll let you know on Monday probably. And yeah, until then, thank you for watching the show. Much love. Many kisses. Mwah. We'll see you soon.
That hurt.
I'm really proud of the way that the guys just put in the shit.
Hey, what's it like in Brazil right now? Is it warm? Yeah. It's always hot, huh? Yeah.
You really suck. This sucks more than anything that I've ever sucked before.
You getting that ass, Larry? Know what I mean? You getting that ass, Larry. That's what the fuck you do.
We are enjoying a lot about this time here.
Why are you holding up a card to indicate a penalty? Like, there's so many different things you can do, and you decide to hold up a card. That's insane to me.
Oh no, I'm stuck. Step bro, come help me.
Where is the vagina? It's a trick question because you can't see it here. You need to